drifting in Las Vegas, Yosemite Sam, legendary pinstriper, and the winner of the Ultimate Custom Car Award. All that and a whole lot more coming up right here on the SST Car Show. SST is brought to you by Stark Auto Sales, home of the ultimate worldwide scratch and dent car sale. Hey friends, I'm Rick Walker. Welcome to another edition of the SST Car Show. You won't believe some of the stuff we have in store for you today. Yosemite Sam, Hall of Fame pinstriper, is going to join us a little later in the program to share some of his pinstriping memories. We'll also speak with an official from BMW Canada, and he'll explain why BMW is almost like a recession-proof brand. But first, here's our look at this year's Riddler Award winner. The Riddler Award is a custom car award that they hand out once a year at the Detroit Autorama. It's kind of like winning the Stanley Cup, only it's for the automotive world. And this year, the award went to a Canadian car building company and designer. J.F. Lornier produced and designed what he calls sort of like a retro concept car. It's called Revision, and it's based on the 1964 Buick Riviera. This is a Buick Riviera that you have customized. You took it to Autorama in Detroit. Yep. You won the Stanley Cup, or the Super Bowl of custom car building competitions. You came home with the Riddler Award. And you're Canadian. Can you please explain to our viewers why that is such a big deal?
Well, I'd like to say that I'm pretty sure the Americans don't like their trophies going to a different country. There's always been that little bit of rivalry. You know, can Canadians compete at that level? And we've shown that we can.
And the Riddler Award vehicles are always just over the top. I mean, the guys generally build cars where the budget, money is no object. How do you compete with that?
Well, the idea of a car having no real budget, and the idea that a car would be $2, $3, or $4, $5 million to build is simply based on the hours it takes to put the pieces together. So if you back that up and you give yourself enough time to have the hours, you can do it on less of a budget, but you have to have your hands in it.
Right, so you actually have to get in there and do the work yourself.
Yes.
Now, I'm looking at this car, and it's blowing my mind, because it looks to me like you've moved the engine back.
Yeah, the car's completely altered. It's got a scratch-built chassis. All the body panels are built from scratch. The engine's been pushed back roughly a foot of where the original motor mounts would have been. Wheelbase has moved. The wheel well arches are moved forward in the front. The rear of the car has been shortened a foot and a half. There really isn't anything that we haven't altered.
Wow. So by moving that motor back, you're centering up the center of gravity more, you're putting the weight distribution more into the center, and you're creating some space there in the front to allow airflow to come under the car and then up through the hood and then over the car to create downforce.
Create downforce, that's exactly what that's meant to do. The bottom of the car has been made 99% flat. So we were thinking in the beginning that we were engineering a car that would do 200 miles an hour. Then we got carried away and put the finish work into the car that it was so unique and took it to Riddler. I don't know if I've still got the guts to try to take a multi-million-dollar car up to those kinds of speeds, but we have been drag racing it. We've been out autocrossing it, doing donuts, picking up the kids from school, you name it. I've been trying to do it in the car.
That is very, so you must have done some YouTube videos. You must be getting about 1 billion hits on there.
Yeah, lots of YouTube videos, jfcustoms.com. You put that in, or you go on any JF Customs or 2014 Riddler winner, and there's lots of cool stuff it's been doing for sure.
I haven't really looked under the hood, but I'm guessing that the turbochargers are mounted in the back.
You got it. So what we've done is we allow the air to come in, and you talked about weight ratio to do with moving the motor back. We were really focused on trying to have a car that would try to put as much weight on the rear wheels as possible. So by moving the engine back, moving the driver's position back, and then putting the turbos and the intercoolers for the turbos in the rear of the car, we're able to actually achieve 52% rear wheel weight which is amazing. Like, that's unheard of, really, and that's really what you'd like in a race car.
Wow. So tell me about the style, too, because, I mean, that's so important on a vehicle like this. It's totally retro, but there's something more to it, too, and I can't quite put my finger on what you've done to this thing. I can't come up with a word for it.
Okay, so feature this. Feature the new Cadillac XLR and its relationship to the Corvette, right? So what we did is we said, well, what if in 1962, 63, the Buick guys had peeked over and seen that the Chevy guys were coming up with this split window Corvette, right? What would a concept two-seater sports coupe Buick have looked like? And was it possible? So what we did is we actually took a Buick Riviera rear window out of a 71 boat tail, because it has a really similar shape to the Corvette, and then grafted it into the car, turned it into a two-seater sports coupe, sort of moved the wheel well arches so that it would function and it would have the proportions that we were looking for. And yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a meld of a bunch of stuff, but it's a styling execution, I think, that went really quite well.
Yeah, and when I look inside, the seats are kind of like low, so it's kind of like this low-slung, mean, low-riding thing, man, you know?
And you just sit there and grab gears and spin tires. It's fun as heck to drive.
And tell me about the color, because obviously you're getting some support from the paint company here.
Yeah, the guys have been super good to us. Obviously, you can see that here. The color, when I talked to my paint rep about what we wanted to do with the color, I was like, you know, I like bright colors, but because it's a street machine, I want it just a little bit more subdued. And I know we didn't really do it that subdued, but I was like, you know, I'd like a yellow, but I'd like school bus yellow. Something kind of plain. We gave it some extra pearl. We played around with the color a bit, and it really pops.
And what about the vents and things on the side here? Are they functional?
Everything's functional. The air actually goes in the side of the quarter panels to an air box behind the seats, feeds the turbos. The turbos compress the air goes through an intercooler, and then all the way back through this pipe that everybody asks about. That's a pressurized pipe that comes from the back out of the turbos and feeds the intake of the engine.
Now, with that distance from the back to the front, is there any additional turbo lag from that?
Yeah, if you design now with fuel injection and computerized timing, you can do a lot of work to get rid of all of that. What we did to try to create a really good program is we put it together a 500 horse motor. Then we used small turbos, so they spool up really quickly. And the turbos now add another 450 horsepower to that program. So you're already 500 horsepower into it, NA, and when you start to make the transition to boost, you just change the timing parameters, and you can do that all in the laptop. So when you get the thing to work like that, it's quite seamless, but you definitely notice the extra power that comes on.
Wow. So, what now? I mean, how do you follow up this? This is like, you just won the Super Bowl of car building competitions.
Yeah,
so
that's true. Like I said it to everybody. I'm bringing home the Stanley Cup, and only car guys can relate to that, right? You have to be a true car guy to realize that that is the award that the whole world wants to win. In the shop, we've got a few cool projects that we're building for customers, stuff that's going to be pretty exciting. You'll see it here again at SEMA next year, and that's what we do, right? We build cars.
Wow. So, you're getting some recognition down here in the U.S., but I'll tell you, man, I'm proud of you. You've done us Canadians proud.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for sharing the car with us today.
Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Don't go away. When we come back, we'll take you drifting in Las Vegas.
I'm Brittany Alexandra. You think the Stanley Cup's cool? Check out this 2014 Riddler winner. We have more SST coming your way.
Steve Plunkett presents the Fleetwood Country Cruise-In, featuring 100 years of Dog and Canada's Dukes of Hazzard cast reunion. Meet Tom Wopat, John Schneider, Rick Hurst, Sonny Schroyer, General Lee mechanic Tom Sarmenta, and other celebrities like George Barris, Linda Vaughn, Courtney Hanson, Gene Winfield, and Dennis Gay. See square dancing tractors, over 4,000 vintage cars, and dozens of General Lees. June 6th and 7th, 9282 Elviage Drive, London, Ontario. Visit FleetwoodCountryCruisin.com for more info on an automotive extravaganza like no other.
Turn back the hands of time with antique Chevrolet parts. Since 1971, we've been sourcing parts from around the world to help you restore and maintain antique Chevs. No tail fins? We have your parts. Call us toll-free at 1-866-767-2787. Get help from a real person or go to antiquechev.com. Download a catalog, order online, delivered to your front door. Antique Chev, helping you turn back the hands of time.
Looking for a better way to buy a car? Stark Auto Sales holds insurance recovery auctions every Monday. SUVs, minivans, cars, trucks, motorcycles, even exotic sports cars. Thousands of vehicles in stock. Some are rebuildable wrecks, some just parts cars. Others are damage-free theft recoveries. You can save a lot of money bidding in person or online. Stark ships worldwide. If you're looking for a better way to buy a car, stop by the next Monday auction at 119 Union Street, Toronto, or visit starkautosales.com. Maverick Multimedia. We produce TV commercials and negotiate best possible airtime rates for our clients. We build custom websites with original photography and graphic design, not stock photos, and offer cost-effective search engine optimization plans that generate response. Real people serving clients across North America, getting you real results. Call 1-866-248-1490. Maverick Multimedia Incorporated. Way better marketing solutions.
The Southern Ontario Military Muster. See war reenactments, weapons demonstrations, vintage military vehicles. Honor the World War II veterans with a Veterans Parade marking the anniversary of VE Day, and the Portraits of Honor display paying tribute to Afghan vets. Tour the trenches, and don't miss this year's new attraction, the Supermodels America Vintage Fashion Show. The Southern Ontario Military Muster, June 13th and 14th at the Essex Sports Complex Arena and Grounds in Essex, Ontario. Visit militarymuster.ca.
Turn back the hands of time with antique Chevrolet parts. Since 1971, we've been sourcing parts from around the world to help you restore and maintain antique Chevs. Nose to tail fins, we have your parts. Call us toll free at 1-866-767-2787. Get help from a real person or go to antiquechev.com. Download a catalog, order online, delivered to your front door. Antique Chev, helping you turn back the hands of time.
Steve Plunkett presents the Fleetwood Country Cruise-In, featuring 100 years of Dog and Canada's Dukes of Hazzard cast reunion. Meet Tom Wopat, John Schneider, Rick Hurst, Sonny Schroyer, General Lee mechanic Tom Sarmenta, and other celebrities like George Barris, Linda Vaughn, Courtney Hanson, Gene Winfield, and Dennis Gage. See square dancing tractors, over 4,000 vintage cars, and dozens of General Lees. June 6th and 7th, 9282 Elviage Drive, London, Ontario. Visit FleetwoodCountryCruisin.com for more info on an automotive extravaganza like no other. Hey friends, welcome back to the SST Car Show. Off we go now to Las Vegas, Nevada, where our own Maggie Yule and Brittany Alexandra went drifting with the crew from the Vegas Off-Road Experience at this year's SEMA Auto Show. Maggie and Brittany are going for a wild ride in a Ford Raptor F-150 Super Truck on the drifting course at the SEMA Auto Show in Las Vegas, Nevada. The folks who run the Vegas Off-Road Experience, a real-life thrill ride for tourists and extreme adventure enthusiasts, are hosting this ride on the wild side. This is their vehicle of choice. They use the Ford Raptor to take people on cross-country treks across the desert, over hills at ridiculous speeds, to an abandoned car where they shoot at it with guns and make it blow up. That's another story. Today, they're putting on a show with these powerful trucks for the crowd at the auto show. And Maggie and Brittany are holding on tight in the back seat.
That was freaking awesome!
The Ford F-150 Raptor is the type of pickup Ferrari would build if it built 4x4s. It comes with a beefed-up long travel suspension, Fox racing shocks, a huge set of 35-inch off-road tires. Today, they're chewing up the tires on the pavement, showing the crowd what this truck is capable of. The Raptor is a flagship vehicle for Ford. It's high performance all the way with an engine that pumps out over 400 horsepower. It's big, it's bold, it's bad. And while it isn't for everyone, it's definitely the right vehicle for this type of extreme drifting. For Maggie and Brittany, this is a ride they won't soon forget. They survived, shaken, and stirred, but they won't try this at home or on the street. That would be far too dangerous. Instead, they're now planning a trip back to Las Vegas for another wild ride with the Vegas Off-Road Experience crew. But the next time, they plan to jump out of an airplane, land in the middle of the desert, and then take in the full experience drifting across the sand to that abandoned car they've heard about, where they get to blow it up with guns. Really, they're gonna do it.
How was that? Oh my God, that was awesome!
And now a quick look at the Jaguar F-Type convertible. Let's take a quick spin now in the all-new Buick Regal GS, a car designed to compete with the world's best. You know, the auto industry kind of goes up and down in cycles, but certain automotive brands seem to defy those cycles. Off we go now to the Ottawa-Gatineau International Auto Show for a conversation with Will Adamy, a BMW spokesperson who explains why BMW seems to be almost recession-proof. What is it about BMW? How are you able to continue this momentum forward, gaining market share? I guess you're kind of continually looking forward and introducing new technology to the cars.
Absolutely. We have actually, this spring is very exciting for BMW. We have launched a few new models. We have them few here. We have the new 2 Series. We have the 4 Series convertible. We also have the 3 GT. So it's always every new year BMW is introducing 2-3 models to the lineup.
Tell me about the 2 Series. What market segment does this appeal to?
So we have the 2 Series just right here. It's going to be replacing the previous generation of the 1 Series. Starting price is $33,900. It's going to attract like more younger clientele. It's a sport vehicle. It's available 2 engine. We have the 228. It's the entry level, and it's available with a 4-cylinder 2-liter turbo, and the 235. It's the more powerful 300 horsepower.
So BMW has a brand that has some prestige associated with it, but with a vehicle like this, it is within reach for just about any consumer.
Absolutely. For a couple of years, BMW, a lot of people were thinking it's out of reach, but we have introduced quite a new models, the X1, now with the 2 Series, and we have the 320, which is pretty much comparable to any other domestic brand, I would say, if you compare it to a Honda and Nissan. So it's a quite reachable for everybody.
And that 3 Series remains kind of the benchmark for, world standard in its class.
Yeah, the 3 Series is pretty much our best seller. It's also the best seller in the premium market, and it's the benchmark. We always compare.
Everybody compares to the
3 Series, exactly, and we're proud of it. So.
Don't go away, just around the corner, an interview with Yosemite Sam, legendary Hall of Fame pinstriper.
I'm Maggie Yule. Stay tuned. We've got more street sport television coming your way.
Looking for a better way to buy a car? Stark Auto Sales holds insurance recovery auctions every Monday. SUVs, minivans, cars, trucks, motorcycles, even exotic sports cars. Thousands of vehicles in stock. Some are rebuildable wrecks, some just parts cars. Others are damage-free theft recoveries. You can save a lot of money bidding in person or online. Stark ships worldwide. If you're looking for a better way to buy a car, stop by the next Monday auction at 119 Union Street, Toronto, or visit starkautosales.com.
The Southern Ontario Military Muster. See war reenactments, weapons demonstrations, vintage military vehicles. Honor the World War II veterans with a Veterans Parade marking the anniversary of VE Day, and the Portraits of Honor display paying tribute to Afghan vets. Tour the trenches, and don't miss this year's new attraction, the Supermodels America Vintage Fashion Show. The Southern Ontario Military Muster, June 13th and 14th at the Essex Sports Complex Arena and Grounds in Essex, Ontario. Visit militarymuster.ca.
Steve Plunkett presents the Fleetwood Country Cruise-In, featuring 100 years of Dodge and Canada's Dukes of Hazzard cast reunion. Meet Tom Wopat, John Schneider, Rick Hurst, Sonny Schroyer, General Lee mechanic Tom Sarmenta, and other celebrities like George Barris, Linda Vaughn, Courtney Hanson, Gene Winfield, and Dennis Gage. See square dancing tractors, over 4,000 vintage cars, and dozens of General Lees. June 6th and 7th, 9282 Elviage Drive, London, Ontario. Visit FleetwoodCountryCruisin.com for more info on an automotive extravaganza like no other. Maverick Multimedia. We produce TV commercials and negotiate best possible airtime rates for our clients. We build custom websites with original photography and graphic design, not stock photos, and offer cost-effective search engine optimization plans that generate response. Real people serving clients across North America, getting you real results. Call 1-866-248-1490. Maverick Multimedia Incorporated. Way better marketing solutions.
Turn back the hands of time with antique Chevrolet parts. Since 1971, we've been sourcing parts from around the world to help you restore and maintain antique Chevs. Nose to tail fins, we have your parts. Call us toll free at 1-866-767-2787. Get help from a real person or go to antiquechev.com. Download a catalog, order online, delivered to your front door. Antique Chev, helping you turn back the hands of time.
The Southern Ontario Military Muster. See war reenactments, weapons demonstrations, vintage military vehicles. Honor the World War II veterans with a Veterans Parade marking the anniversary of VE Day, and the Portraits of Honor display paying tribute to Afghan vets. Tour the trenches, and don't miss this year's new attraction, the Supermodels America Vintage Fashion Show. The Southern Ontario Military Muster, June 13th and 14th at the Essex Sports Complex Arena and Grounds in Essex, Ontario. Visit militarymuster.ca.
Looking for a better way to buy a car? Stark Auto Sales holds insurance recovery auctions every Monday. SUVs, minivans, cars, trucks, motorcycles, even exotic sports cars. Thousands of vehicles in stock. Some are rebuildable wrecks, some just parts cars. Others are damage-free theft recoveries. You can save a lot of money bidding in person or online. Stark ships worldwide. If you're looking for a better way to buy a car, stop by the next Monday auction at 119 Union Street, Toronto, or visit starkautosales.com. Hey friends, welcome back to the SST Car Show. Joining us now is legendary Hall of Fame automotive pinstriper Yosemite Sam, who explains why painting model cars is very much the same as painting the real thing. Sam, you kind of got your start making model car kits. Where do you think all of that is going? Is that dying? Is there any interest in that end of the hobby anymore?
Well, there's a big interest in model cars because a lot of people can't afford or they can't build a car, so they play with model cars. So there's a big interest out there still in model cars, big time. It's just everybody has their own little niche, and they do the best they can with the cards they're dealt.
And the cars that you build, a lot of them are custom. I mean, when I look at them, obviously there are some kits in there, but tell me about some of those cars that you made from scratch with your own hands.
Well, the scratch ones came about because I ran out of die cast to work with. Normally what I do is I take die cast models or plastic models and modify them, chop them, section them, do all the custom stuff I would do to it on as a regular car, then custom paint them. They're done exactly the way I would do a real car, the same kind of primers, paints, and everything. And so they're kind of a concept car in miniature. Then I ran out of die cast a year ago to work on because I usually keep an inventory laying around, and I started maybe I'll make my own. And so I started gluing pieces of plastic together and filing it and playing around with it. And, you know, it's a labor of love. It's if you figure the amount of hours I have into it, it'd be scary to see. They're worth a lot of money as far as hours go. But it's been fun. It's to see what you can do, because some of these cars over the years have turned up in car magazines or model car magazines. And so I've looked at some of the cars and trends that are out there today, and I think some of the people that are doing some of the stuff now have looked at some of my models.
Yeah, and are some of the painting techniques that you use here the same as the ones you would employ on a full-size vehicle?
Yes, the painting is exactly the same. It's all candy colors, house of colors, pearls, just like I do a real car. There's no difference. It's a ton of work to do, a lot of sanding, and but
So the trick is really for a good finish is in the prep.
Yeah, prepping. It's like I say, when I do a model car like a plastic one, I'll build it, grind it and everything that I want, and then I put it out in my studio and I put a number on it or a date, and I leave it sit for a year before I go back and touch it again. And then I go back and start priming and sanding and priming and sanding and then painting and finally bring it up here and put it on a table. So some of these models are really, really old. I lost all my models years ago that I made when I was a kid. But all the models I have now are made from 1982 till now, so there's quite a few.
It's better to lose your models than to lose your marbles.
Well,
But in any event, the top tip for anybody out there that wants to build a model kit is what? Take your time and good prep.
Take your time and do what you want to do. Don't be looking at other. You can look at other people's work, but put your own thought into it. Make your model the way you want to do it, not the way somebody else thinks you should do it.
So do your own thing out there, folks. Thanks very much for taking the time to share your memories on the show today.
Thank you very much.
You'll catch more of Yosemite Sam in future episodes of the SST Car Show and in our new SST Car Magazine. Until then, I'm Rick Walker reminding you when you can't get to the car show, we'll bring the car show to you online at streetsporttv.com.
Maverick Multimedia production.